Hello you there, creatures of the universe. Let's talk about the Speed Force.
I'm talking to the Speed Force.
So what the frack is the Speed Force? The Speed Force in the DC universe is the force that grants all speedsters their power. In the comics, several speedsters have merged with it, including Barry Allen, Johnny Quick and Max Mercury. In the end of episode 20, called Rapture, we saw Barry Allen get disintegrated, but what we actually saw was Barry Allen traveling to the other dimension called the Speed Force. In the next episode called The Runaway Dinosaur, we see Barry Allen trapped in the Speed Force. In the show, the Speed Force is represented as a whole separate dimension, and what is more interesting is that the Speed Force itself is representing itself as Barry's closest people, including Joe, Iris, his father and his dead mother. The Speed Force constantly talks about itself with we, suggesting that in a way the Speed Force is controlled by some kind of higher beings. Aliens. We see that the Speed Force explains to Barry that it gave him his powers and it chose him. That means that the lightning that struck Barry wasn't a coincidence, but Barry was chosen to be struck by the Speed Force. Throughout the episode we hear the same thing repeating over and over. Sit, Barry, sit.
Sit, Barry.
Sit, Barry. Sit.
As if he needs to slow down his life and rethink everything why he is the Flash. After the heartwarming conversation with his mother, or the representation of the Speed Force of his mother, Barry finally realizes that her death was inevitable for him to become the Flash and therefore save all the lives he has saved. He then is able to catch the running shadow, which turns out to be himself, that meaning that the one thing he needed to do was to overcome himself. And after Iris, with the help of Cisco, got Barry out of the Speed Force, I keep on wondering, from where the frack he got this suit with all its tear up, or do the Speed Force is also a sewing force?